So this is temporary bear fencing. We use rebar. Rebar's metric?
Ugh.
I think rebar is metric. This is like 11 millimeter.
I don't know what it is.
It's, I think it's $10 for a 20-foot length, Canadian dollars. And you can get it at any hardware store. Home Hardware, Home Depot, Kent.
Yeah.
They will cut it for you. It's a 20-foot length, so we cut it into 5 4-foot pieces. And 4 feet's really too long. And you can get these insulators at any farm store, any fencing supply store. I don't know the American brands. Co-op, Suregain, Canadian brands.
Clarence is where I typically find them.
Clarence. We run 3 strands. It doesn't have to be high. This is black bear fencing. I don't know about grizzly bears or brown bears. Where are you pointing that camera?
To the side.
Okay, so black bears stand this high. They don't jump. They don't stand up and step over things. Black bears stay on all fours. They might stand on their back legs and look, but they don't jump. They will duck under and crawl. So you want your wire at head height, chest height, and then leg height so they don't crawl under. Black bears do not jump. There's no reason to have your fence this high. You can just have it high enough to step over. People buy, I'm not going to recommend Energizers, because if you use a small Energizer like I do and a bear eats your bees, then you're going to blame me. I use a small Energizer, and the trick to that is we put the fence really close to the hives. And if you have your fence back farther and you're fencing off a large area, that bear, when coming up on your bee yard, is probably walking at a steady pace. And these pulse. And if the bear is moving fast enough, he can walk right through your fence, not even get shocked, and he can walk right up to the hives and he can wreck your hives. If you put the fence close to your bees, his approach speed, how fast he's walking, he will slow down because he's gotten to his destination, and this pulse rate is more likely to shock him as he tries to sneak through the wire. Did that make sense, Amber?
Yeah.
So if you're fencing a large area, now I recommend multiple strands of wire, 4, 5, and yes, you can put it this tall because you're fencing a large area, and the bear's going to walk into that fence rather fast, so you need more wires for him to get tangled up in. And then you need an Energizer that's going to shock him with a very good shock, because he's not associating the danger with the hives now because he got shocked back there. So if he slips through the fence, he's free to do what he wants. I shock him at the bees, so he associates the danger with the bees. Did that make sense?
Yep.
So if you're fencing a large area, you have more wire, you need a bigger Energizer. If you're going to just fence the bees, you can get away with a smaller Energizer.
We're also very mobile with our fences too, though.
This is a temporary fence. That's what I started out saying. This, if you're doing a permanent fence, get a big Energizer, big post, multiple strands of wire. So I'm not recommending a small Energizer, but we do. This is only like 0.1 joules. And I've had lots of people tell me this isn't enough, but I've seen tens of thousands of hives fenced with these small energizers. Like, that's all Bragg's uses.
So
And
that's an S12.
this is an S12 solar, but I'm not recommending this because if someone's bees get 8,
Yeah.
they're gonna blame me. So you buy the Energizer, you buy the 10 joule Energizer, and feel good about it. This is only $125, more than that.
No, it's 200 or 189. 189.
Holy, they're that much?
Yeah,
Okay.
189.
Well, I know the bigger ones are like 800.
Yeah.
I don't recommend a battery Energizer because the battery goes dead. These are like, you turn these on and forget about them. Now, wire. This is turbo wire. You can buy some really cheap wire, and the cost difference is how many strands of wire. And that is, see how the stainless wire sticks out?
Mm-hmm.
That's very good contact. You get this quality with turbo wire. It's a lot more expensive. This is 9 strand. You can buy as few as 3 strand, 6 strand, and 9 strand wire. Spare no expense on the wire. We see voltage go from 5 to 6,000 volt to 8 to 9,000 volt with this wire. So does that cover the materials?
Yep.
So I've seen a bear reach through the wire and wreck hives. So you want to be back arm's length, like your arm, and don't fence off more than you need to, because this is temporary fencing. And you don't need a lot of posts because nothing's going to lean on the fence. So you just need enough posts to hold up the wire. And with this Energizer, because these are such temporary fences, we don't like pounding ground rods 3 feet. So this Energizer grounds on the post. In here, that's the ground. So we use a steel rebar. We're switching to round bar, which is, I think I skipped over that. The round bar is 3/8, and it's the same price as, that's 19 mil rebar. That's what that is. So it's convenient because you don't have to have a ground rod. But don't buy the little one, buy the big one. And when these get stolen, because these get stolen, right?
Yeah.
So when you are buying these and people feel like they should have it, it's cheaper to replace because they have gotten stolen. All right, so you got me tapping in this. These don't have to be down very far. That's plenty. And I do my 4 corners, and then I run my wire because it's perfectly straight. I know how Amber wants the fence perfectly straight. And I recommend gloves. I don't have mine today. That's plenty. So I think we...
hang on to the top.
What?
I hang on to the top fence thing when I'm tapping it in if I don't have on gloves.
Oh. Yeah. As long as you put your hand down here and
Yeah.
if you swing, you'll miss your hand. But gloves. So I think we'll cut the video there till I get the post in. And then we'll run the wire. You can tie this whatever way you want. I was a fisherman for a lot of years, so I know a few knots. I'm just going to tie a loop into the end of this. Just put it over itself and put it through. Pull it tight. These are Dare brand insulators. We like them the best. I just hooked that on there. Make sure you put your starting post on the southern side and put your solar energizer on the southern side. So this is called a half hitch. All you would do is just make a loop with it behind itself, and then you would just put another half hitch, 2 half hitches make a clove hitch. And then you just run your wire around the perimeter. And then when your wire's around the 4 corners, tap your post in the middle. Again, the height, 9 inches. 9 inches. A bear can't even get through 2 strand like this. You don't need to be up here for a bear. When you get to the corner, that's all there is to it. Are you still filming? Yep. That's tight enough. Nothing's going to lean on it. I come back down and I just tie 2 more half hitches, which is the clove hitch. Face the 12 o'clock. South is 12 o'clock right here.
I don't know. Maybe, probably.
Yeah, south's 12 o'clock.
I get out the compass on my phone because I am geographically unaware.
Yeah, but you could just sew. It's 12 o'clock and there's south. I believe the tester is the most important part of any fence system, because how would you know? Here, go ahead. Yeah. How would you know if it's working? Oh, that's a good one. That's the turbo wire. It makes all of the difference. Yeah. That's 9,800 volts. That's a good shock. Why don't you touch it?
No.
You touch it, I'll touch it. You touch it, I'll touch it.
No, you go first.
No, because you won't touch it.
I know how this goes.